The 6th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay, St. James, closed on Thursday, wrapping up with the inaugural day of service. 17 projects were selected in 6 parishes, and our news team checked out 4. For the first time in the history of the Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, goodwill works for members of the diaspora have been formalized in a day of service, aptly titled by a diaspora member as their Labor Day. On Thursday, June 18, when the plenary sessions at the Montego Bay Convention Center had ended, diaspora members journeyed across the parishes of St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Catherine, St. Anne, and St. Thomas to carry out various projects in the areas of education, health, and agriculture. Professor Rosalie Hamilton, chairman of the Day of Service Subcommittee for the Jamaica Diaspora Conference, explains the day's activities.
We're really very pleased to see the diversity of projects, mainly in the area of health and education. But we also have one agricultural project, an exciting project in Westmoreland, where it's called Farm Up and Farm Up Jamaica. And we're really very pleased to see that so many persons in the diaspora have given their time and effort and, of course, financial resources to ensure that 17 projects are possible this year.
One of the projects was an immigration consultation with 2 immigration attorneys held at the Hilton Rose Hall in Montego Bay. Professor Hamilton explains the purpose of the session.
We have 2 lawyers who are here to provide immigration advice for Jamaicans. I think it's very important that Jamaicans understand the legal framework in America and in other countries, and they're really providing the kind of legal advice that is absolutely necessary to avoid some of the difficulties that Jamaicans find themselves in when they either go and overstay on visitors' visas, or they have relatives that they want to bring or join, and so on. So that's the discussion that's taking place in this room.
Spot Valley High in St. James was the beneficiary of a mentoring project involving 30 students and 30 teachers, spearheaded by the Jamaica Education Task Force in the UK, the National Education Trust in Jamaica, and UIMONA. Head of the project, Dr. Lorna Cork, who is the Managing Director of Education and Leadership UK, explains what happened during the project.
Basically, what we'll be doing, we'll be mentoring young people, and that's going to be followed by mentoring and coaching staff as well. And that's quite innovative, we think, because often when we have these programs, it's just aimed at the young people, isn't it? Or it's just aimed at professional development of teachers. We are very concerned with coaching in terms of communication skills. Networking is something as well. We have a little session on networking, because that's something that they have to learn from a very young age then, as potential entrepreneurs. So we are integrating the academic and the vocational and the entrepreneurial, and we are very excited. And that's just the students. And then the staff will be looking at developing their leadership capacity.
The Type 3 Health Clinic in Catherine Hall, Montego Bay got a facelift courtesy of the Jamaica Diaspora Canada Foundation in association with Victoria Mutual Building Society. Leader of that project, Dr. Sylvanus Thompson, says this year's Day of Service serves to formalize what his organization had been doing annually since the first Diaspora Conference in 2004.
We contacted the parish manager and we were told that this is a priority area, so we are doing some repairs to the building, doing some painting, we'll be doing some beautification. And we'll be installing some computers, quite a bit of equipment we'll be installing inside there also.
Over in Westmoreland, a defunct Aki farm in the community of Haddo got some attention from a group out of the United States called Farm Up Jamaica. Farm Up Jamaica representative Neil Curtis from the USA says their project is meant to be sustainable.
We're basically pruning trees, and then we're going to use organic pesticides, herbicides to spray onto the tree so that the trees will start to rejuvenate. This Aki farm has been abandoned for over 3 years now, so it's deemed organic. And what's going to happen here is it's going to employ more people in the community. It's going to create organic Aki, and we've even partnered with a canner that's willing to use other organic ingredients to start to can organic Aki.
It is expected that the Day of Service component of the Jamaica Diaspora Conference will be a permanent fixture for conferences to come.